Welcome back to TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about this very topic of should the Bulls trade for Andre Drummond. Drummond is right now currently on his last year of his deal. He can opt out, become a free agent for this upcoming free agency, and he's in a lot of trade talks. I already made a video on the Andre Drummond trade rumors. So this is basically the idea if the Bulls should trade for him. As I've seen most recently a lot of articles talking about the Bulls trading for Drummond, and also a lot of people on Twitter talking about trading for Drummond. So before we get started though, please leave a like on this video. Also, if you're in Illinois, I am going to be on the radio, so every 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time, make sure you tune in to FM 89, WONC FM 89. You're going to hear me talk about sports, specifically Chicago sports, and we're always going to talk about the Bulls, so make sure you tune into that. And with that though, let's get started about this very Bulls topic. So as you can see, I have a Twitter page right now brought up, and this Twitter account doesn't exist anymore. So basically, this Bulls account tweeted or replied to one of Casey Johnson's tweets about Wendell Carter Jr. being injured. And he said, though, that Wendell Carter Jr. is such a big issue with his injuries that that the Bulls should look to trade him along with some other pieces that we currently have to Detroit, and we get Drummond in return. And his theory was that if the Bulls do this, we get rid of, first off, Thaddeus Young in that deal, and we also get rid of Denzel Valentine because the Bulls are now looking to trade Denzel Valentine. But mainly his idea was the fact that if we trade for Drummond right now, that the Bulls would then become a playoff team. And with that, the Bulls could then retain Drummond this upcoming offseason. And I respectfully disagreed with this man. And I gave some very obvious reasons, and we just ended up just having to disagree with it. But I definitely wanted to talk about it though. First off, I want to say go read Andrew Miller's article for 3 reasons why to stay away from Andre Drummond. If you don't 100% understand what's really going on with the Drummond deal, definitely read this. This is 3 very good reasons why. He hits on where does Wendell Carter Jr. then fit in? Where does Lauri Markkanen then fit in? What happens when he comes in and he doesn't fit Jim Boylan's play style of blitzing all the time? And where does this really even put us? Like, we don't. And also he hits on this really isn't something the Bulls really need. Like, we don't really need another center, really. What Wendell Carter Jr. does is put up double basically every night, and he's only gonna get it better. Bringing in Drummond, you just basically get a bigger double machine, so like a 16 to 18 player a night. But like after that, what else does he bring? He doesn't bring anything else. So that's definitely something I want to hit on. But definitely read this article by Andrew Miller. It was a very good read, and it will definitely explain just some of the very surface reasons why the Bulls should not do this deal. But I'm also going to be talking about some other things that I want to hit on. It's more responding to what I've been seeing a lot of people talking about on Twitter. So first off is the fact that Drummond is going to become a free agent after this season. There is basically no way Drummond is going to accept his player option, because if he declines it, no matter where he goes, even if he stays with the Pistons and the Pistons don't trade him, he can still get more money. The only way he accepts his player option is if he gets traded to a contender, and the only way to get traded there is if he accepts the player option. But either way, he's still going to be looking for money. This is where I get very iffy about this idea. I think this is a terrible idea because of that. If the Bulls trade for Drummond right now, we're giving him Wendell Carter Jr. easily. Thaddeus Young obviously has to go in the deal to help make the contracts work, and then probably Denzel Valentine. And at this point, I'm expecting the Pistons to ask for a pick. Even if the Pistons don't ask for a pick, I'm still not giving away Wendell. And the reason why is because Wendell is a 20-year-old center that has shown the ability to put up a double-double every single night in a very limited role on offense, because Jim Boylan does a terrible job of using Wendell's strengths. Wendell is basically the entire Bulls defense. The Bulls have a great interior defense because of Wendell, and only when Wendell is really on the floor. And with Wendell, like, he's only 20, guys. I know he's had 2 major injuries right now, but what about Derrick Rose? When he got injured all the time, did you guys give up on him immediately? I don't think so. There are multiple guys that the Bulls have had, and then they get injured, but we don't give up on them. Especially, and if you ask any team in the NBA, you do not give up on a 20-year-old center just due to the fact of injuries. They're 20 years old, and Wendell had a freakish thumb injury that was not his fault at all. And then this new injury just happened because Wendell does not get any foul calls at all. So he got hammered on a play, got fouled 3 times, and yet he rolled his ankle. So this whole talk that Wendell's already a bust because of the fact that he's going to get injured all the time is absolutely stupid. Stop that right now. Wendell is going to be a great player. If injuries happen, injuries happen. But no team in the right mind gives up on a 20-year-old center who has shown the ability already to put up a double-double every single night and has not been used properly under Jim Boylen's system. Wendell at Duke was a great shot blocker, a great rebounder, a great post-up option, and also a very good passer, and Jim Boylen does not use Wendell properly. And having said that, if you trade Wendell for Drummond, what Drummond brings is obviously more interior presence of just scoring, but he does not bring the post presence, does not shoot the ball as good as Wendell. He rebounds better than Wendell because of just his size. I think technically, defensively, like interior blocking, I think they're basically kind of on par at this point. Wendell has the ability to also switch on the guys on the perimeter, which Jim Boylen never uses. Wendell also has the ability to blitz the pick and roll play, which Jim Boylen does all the time. You can put Wendell in any defensive system, he's going to succeed. Drummond, he has to play the back off type pick and roll defense, and that gives up too many 3-point shots. And that's the reason why I'm like, yeah, Drummond may have more blocks, but Wendell can do so much more defensively. People don't understand how much value Wendell brings to this team. He is literally the entire defense, and he has more abilities than he can show every single night because Jim Boylen doesn't allow him to flourish. So the Drummond versus Wendell idea, yeah, maybe at this very point in time, if the Bulls go get Drummond, he maybe brings us up to an 8 spot. But what does that do after? And this is my next point. So we just said Wendell versus Drummond, that doesn't make any sense. Wendell, I think, has definitely more potential, and at this very moment in time, I think Wendell can do much more defensively than Drummond, and that's people's main argument. Now comes to if we do get Drummond. It probably makes us a playoff team, but let me tell you this then. Let's say well, first off, we get to be a playoff team, but then he can easily leave right after. And if I'm Andre Drummond at this point, I'm probably looking to go to a contender. So he's good as gone. We traded Wendell Carter Jr., Thaddeus Young, some other young player, and probably a first-round pick for nothing. They just leave. So there's that, and that already scares me enough. And then if the other option is if he does actually stay, because he decides to stay with the Bulls and he's loyal, this is where I get nervous even more. Great, we got our center for the future. He's 26, fairly young. He's going to ask for $190 million. And while Drummond, I think 100% deserves that money. If you look at what the Bulls have wrapped up or are coming up to having to pay these players, we're going to have absolutely no flexibility whatsoever. And that's what really, really scares me. We're so lucky that Zach LaVine is on a very team-friendly contract. But what's coming up next is first off, Otto Porter is going to accept his player option. So we're already at the cap limit, and we're about to go over the cap. And Otto Porter is going to accept his player option. So if we re-sign Drummond, it's just going to skyrocket us into the luxury tax. We have to pay Lauri Markkanen soon, and that's immediately coming up. He's in his 3rd season right now. And after next season, he's going to be up for a rookie extension, which is probably be around $90 million. We got to pay Chris Dunn this upcoming offseason. So I think Chris Dunn has played his way to a spot on this Bulls team. We're not going to pay him a lot, obviously, but if Marcus Smart got a good amount of money, we're going to have to pay Chris Dunn the same amount probably, but it's going to be lower. And then comes the more important part, is that we will not have any money for free agency. And I know where you're saying, like, we're not ever going to get a free agent, right? And that's the whole reason why people are saying the Drummond deal is best. Well, I'm not even most concerned about that. I'm more concerned about our flexibility and just getting a decent free agent that can come in and fill their role properly, that's like, you know, the glue guys to a championship level team, or also a trade. Like, we don't have any financial flexibility then to go out and absorb a superstar level contract. If we go out and trade for Drummond right now, he resigns, we are already in the luxury tax if he resigns. That's a serious issue, and Drummond's not, no disrespect to Drummond, he's a top 5 center in this league, but he's not the superstar. He is nowhere near a Giannis, you know, all those starting all-star players. He's nowhere near that level. And the fact that people are saying like it's worth it right now just to make it to the 8th spot, they're not looking down the line. It's very important for the Bulls to keep their financial flexibility to either sign free agents that they need to go get and also make the trade so they can absorb a star level contract. That is extremely important, and we all know if Gar Forman and John Paxson stay, we're not going to get a free agent. But if they don't stay, then that's a whole new opening for the Bulls, is to go and potentially sign a star player if Jerry Reinsdorf decides to clean house this offseason. So while this article stated already like the obvious of like where does this put the Bulls bigs like Lowry, Wendell, who gets traded, this trade doesn't really help the Bulls as much as people think. Yeah, you get a top 5 center, but Wendell's pretty good already. I'm more worried about the financial parts of it and the flexibility for the Bulls moving forward. And that's the reason why I'm saying this is already risky enough to say, well, we might just trade Wendell for nothing. That's already risky enough. But then talk about the money aspect of it, that Drummond's going to ask for $190 million and completely limit our flexibility and skyrocket us into the luxury tax. That itself should be enough for Bulls fans to say, no, we should not trade for Andre Drummond right now. Now, if Drummond was on a deal, like a long-term deal, like a 3-year deal, you know, that's completely different because we have him under control for at least a couple of years, and we don't have to pay him for a couple of years also. We already know what's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years. But the fact that he's going to be a free agent this upcoming offseason and probably asking for $32+ million and on a 4-year deal or a 5-year deal if he gets traded, that's a big issue to especially the Bulls, because that completely takes away their cap flexibility and they cannot go and trade for a star player or trade for other assets, and just that itself should be a no. Even if that situation is that we get Drummond to actually stay, but then it limits us completely. We get no financial flexibility whatsoever, and then we're stuck in purgatory realm, which is where we just were 3 years ago. So my biggest thing is that the whole idea of trading for Drummond, wipe it from your mind right now. It is not a good idea, no, even if he stays or he leaves. Because if he leaves, we lose Wendell, we lose Thaddeus Young, who I want to trade for at least a first-round pick. We lose another young player, and we probably lose another first-round pick. Or if he decides to stay, he's asking for $190 million for 5 years, and then that immediately, the next season, skyrockets us through the roof in our money spending, and then we're automatically into the luxury tax, and that takes away any ability for us to trade for a superstar and absorb their contract, or sign guys or trade for guys that are the glue guys to help establish a championship level team. And I know you're probably thinking like the Bulls are not going to be a championship level team at all, but we've seen what happens in the NBA. Guys move quickly, and who knows what's going to happen this next coming off season. I know there's not a lot of free agents, but trades happen like that. And this Bulls team, especially if you get a new front office, who knows, can completely just change the way that they're going right now. They could go get a star via trade or however they want to do it, and all of a sudden the Bulls move from being not meeting expectations to all of a sudden now your expectations is to be at least a good playoff team, and then maybe the year after that we're a title contender. But trading for Drummond takes away all those possibilities. Every single one of those positive possibilities is taken away by trading for Drummond at this season. So I just had to get this off my chest, because when I hear Bulls fans start talking about these ideas of getting these guys, they're looking at the right now, and what's happening right now is not important. This season is another wash season. We're at the halfway mark, and the Bulls have, I think, 14 wins, and it's already a terrible season because we should be we should be at the playoffs right now, or at least like just below. And right now we're like 5 games out of the playoffs, and we're also 5 games out of being the worst team in the NBA. So this season right now, as much as we want to see this team play good right now, what's important is that you see the growth in guys that doesn't have to do with anything with the offense, because Jim Boylan doesn't know how to run an offense. But we need to see right now that Zach LaVine can lead this team, which he's 100% showing right now. We need to see Lauri Markkanen to start getting into the post more. Stop being so timid. Be more aggressive for Markkanen. Chris Dunn to hopefully get a jump shot, and hopefully Wendell Carter comes back soon, and start Kobe White. Those are things that are under our control, that's not going to hurt us in the future, and those can be positive things we could take away now. But don't start thinking about what other ideas could help this team at this very moment. We need to think about what's happening down the line in the next 2 or 3 years. Then that's the time to start talking about a trade for a guy like Andre Drummond. So, to all my Bulls fans, please stop with this idea for trading for Drummond. I hope that the front office does not do this deal. If the front office does this deal, it's just the epitome of the front office, because they clearly don't know what they're doing. And let's just, for Bulls fans, just look at what's happening, look at how well Zach LaVine is playing, and take away positives, the very few positives we can from this season, and don't think about completely destroying the future for this Bulls by thinking of trading for a guy like Drummond at this very moment in time. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also, follow me on Twitter, and also catch me on the radio if you can. So, Bulls, do not trade for Drummond. Garpax, do not trade for Drummond. Thank you guys so much. I'm out.